What is up, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I'm going to be rapping on about being anti-fragile. There's a book that I listened to as an audiobook not too long ago, and I've done some book reviews on this channel before, and I forgot to do this one, but I've come to recognize the importance of becoming anti-fragile. It's not a word that is known in the English language. It's certainly not popular. I've never heard it before until I read the book. I guess the title of the book was the thing that captured my attention. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because it's really, really important. First of all, let me tell you what anti-fragile means. Before I do that, I will flash up the book so you can get it if you want. I have no affiliation with it whatsoever. The author's name is Nassim Nicholas Taleb. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'll flash up the title right now that I've done that. What is anti-fragile? It is basically anything that benefits from a moment of chaos, some sort of chaotic event. It gets better. There's fragile, obviously, is a term that people are familiar with. You'll see, let's use a packing box as an example. It'll say fragile, contents inside fragile. Meaning if you drop the box, the contents inside will likely break or become extremely damaged. Robust would mean that it would resist damage. So if you were to drop whatever was in the box, it likely wouldn't break. So if you had a box full of sand, for example, it's not going to break. It's just sand. Anti-fragile is the opposite of fragile, meaning any stressors that come into the object's life or event, whatever it might be, actually improve it. Okay? Human beings are one of the few things in the universe that can become anti-fragile. Nature is another thing. For example, if there's a forest fire, the forest always grows back better. Okay. Throughout history, if you get into the book, he goes into a number of different events, and you don't have to get into the entire book to get the general premise or theme. I'm going to cover most of it in this video, but he goes through event after event after event throughout history where humanity, societies, empires have been improved by moments of chaos, stressors, if you will, stressors that inflict some sort of, doesn't necessarily have to be physical damage, but stressors on that empire, human being, whatever it might be. And we as individuals can become anti-fragile. I'm not going to go in that lane, it's going nowhere. So the interesting thing about it is, we get beat down all the time as human beings, all the time. In our businesses, if we're an entrepreneur, as an employee, if we're working for somebody, in relationships, with women, if you get divorced or you get your heart broken or whatever it might be. And we don't usually recognize these as beneficial moments. We're like, oh, the world sucks and it's not fair. That's my favorite. It's not fair. Ooh, cry me a river. I've done it. I'm not gonna lie. I have done the whole, pity party bullshit. But the reality of it all is every event in my life that's brought some form of stressor upon me has always set me out the other side better. I'll give you a couple examples because I like to speak from experience. You guys know that by now in my videos. So my business, debt negotiation, had some pretty considerable limitations imposed on it in the last couple of years through credit card companies. And this lane here, that was a fairly significant stressor. There was a lot of time and money that I had to put into the business to basically pivot it into a new direction. And that stressor created a brand new business, not entirely different from what it was a few years ago, very similar model, but very different in the sense that the environment had completely changed. Okay, a lot of my competitors had disappeared because they didn't figure out how to pivot in that environment. They didn't become anti-fragile, if you will. Oh, that lane's closed. So what that did for my company is it created a more anti-fragile type of business. There was less competitors in the space. A lot of the challenges that we had changed dramatically, and the business became anti-fragile. It became better. Okay, anti-fragile basically means you become better when the stressors are imposed on you as a person, or on your company, or on your empire, in society, whatever it may be. Another example that I can point to is the anti-fragile perspective of me as an individual. I've talked a little bit in my videos about self-care and the importance that it plays in your life. Stress is often the source of many ailments for people. Diseases, cancer, things like that. Anybody that's had a family member or a friend, or has even gone through it themselves, know that stress is often the origin of considerable changes in their health. I suffered an incident last October where I had to go to the hospital because I basically had, I called it when I went into the emergency room, a boob growing on my hip, because when I was going down the stairs it was like jiggling, and I didn't know what the fuck it was. It freaked me the hell out. I thought I was dealing with cancer or something strange. But after being in the emergency for the evening, and they did this MRI and CAT scans and tests and all kinds of stuff and blood work, the doctor basically asked me a bunch of interview questions and asked me if I had any stress in my life, and I responded yes. I was dealing with significant changes in my business. I had gone through a really shitty breakup with my girlfriend at the time, and he said, well, that's probably it. It's probably that part of your body responding to the stressors and the stress hormones in your blood, because you saw elevated levels. So these stressors will test you. They'll test you as a person. They'll test your character. If you're an entrepreneur in your business, they'll test your business. But the thing that you have to remember is these tests, these moments of becoming anti-fragile, or that make you more anti-fragile, are there for a reason. I did a video last end of summer. I think it was titled Don't Lose, Learn. And I'll put a card up here so you can link to it if you want to see it. But essentially it's the same sort of premise. You're going to have these stressors come into your life. They're going to test you in your ability to get things done and come out the other end, really. So that's really the whole premise of becoming anti-fragile. Don't let stressors in your life ruin you, end your day, make you suicidal. I've had moments, that I just want to, I can throw my hands up and be like, I give up, but they're there for a reason. They're there to test you, to see if you can get out the other side. And when you do get out the other side, I promise you that you will be anti-fragile in that moment. You'll never, ever feel that stress the way that you did that time ever again, because you will adapt and grow to it. It's what happens when you go and work out and lift weights and go to the gym. Your body becomes anti-fragile. My whole point of this video, guys, is don't let stressors in your life ruin you, end your day, prevent you from sleeping, stopping you from accomplishing things. They're just tests. Everything in life is a fucking test. It's there to test you. I've got scars. I talked about this before, on my neck and my chest and my arms from hot water scalding when I was 2. And I've always said to people, scars are really just proof that I was stronger than whatever tried to kill me. So check out that book if you guys are interested in learning more about the concept of antifragility. The storytelling in it is great. It's a long book, and it's not written at a grade 4 reading level. It's written at a much higher level. The audiobook's great too. That's what I got. But you'll hear story after story about how stressors in empires, societies, human beings, historical events have all created something better out the other side, where that thing, person, society, whatever, has become anti-fragile and better. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anybody that you think that might get some value out of watching this, of course, share it with them. Follow me on social and blah, blah, blah. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and all the good stuff. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. Have an awesome day. Peace.